Okay, ready to get started with some questions, Jonathan?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to start with Dasher again, and then we're going to go to Jed.
Hey, Johnson, how's it going today?
Hey, how are you doing?
Not bad. Coach was talking a second ago about you kind of looking in the mirror and say, and kind of telling yourself, "Hey, I'm 6'5", I'm 220 pounds. I should be going out there and doing this, that, and the other." It's kind of to follow up on that. Just kind of what has kind of caused you to kind of, I guess, flip the switch, so to speak, and hey, convince yourself that hey, I belong on that mountain. I'm the one that should be doing all the dominating.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it was just a little bit of experience getting my feet wet. I think one of the challenges was not being able to start at the beginning of the year and get
Mhm.
those 3, 4 starts before SEC play started, just to kind of work out some kinks and just get my rhythm back and get all my pitches back. So I kind of had to use that time period during the first few weeks of SEC play, where maybe one week my changeup wasn't that good, or one week my curveball wasn't that good. Um, but I think now that I've kind of been able to work some things out and really work with Kenny in the bullpen in between starts, I'm a lot more comfortable up there now and a lot more confidence.
And explain what it's like when you do make that first SEC start. I mean, it's a different animal, obviously, than what you do when and no offense to the other teams you play in non-conference, but how different is that for a guy like yourself that's doing this for like first 2 or 3 times?
Mhm. It's completely different. It's just everyone is playing at such a high level. The hitters are just so good that you really just don't have room for mistakes. Like I said a couple weeks ago when I made my start against South Carolina, I mean, I didn't think I threw horribly. I mean, I probably made 4 or 5 mistakes. Just those 4 or 5 mistakes went over the fence. So that's kind of the difference between just like a regular start and an SEC start, is the hitters will make you pay for mistakes.
I want to ask you real quick about Garrett Blaylock. I mean, the big series he had this past weekend. How big was that? But he talked much about that coming against his former team. I know you guys were aware of that and everything, but what about him?
I mean, I know I was super happy for him, just to kind of get a little, and not really revenge, but just kind of to do well at a school you used to go to. I mean, it had to have felt really good for him. And I mean, I know he was locked in all weekend. He was really excited to go there. And he just went out there and he just performed well. I mean, I know that the beginning of the year didn't go the way he wanted it to, but I mean, the way he's turned it around, he's one of the hottest hitters in our lineup right now, and looking forward to what he does against Kentucky this weekend.
Oh, thanks, man.
Hey, Jonathan, kind of just on the SEC track, do you change the way you go through lineups differently when you're facing an SEC team versus when you're facing a non-conference team? Do you have to be, I guess, a little more careful about what you show the first time through the lineup? That kind of strategic stuff like that.
I think it changes a little bit. It really does depend on the opponent, but I mean, I would rather pitch to my strengths than have to pitch to the opponent's weaknesses. So I'm going to do what I do well to each team and kind of use our scouting report to kind of guide me a little bit. But I'm going to do what I do well, and that's really command my off speed, command 3 or 4 pitches, and locate my fastball. So that's my plan going into outings, but that can change depending on the opponent. But I mean, my blueprint is very similar week to week, no matter what the opponent is.
Do you think that's helped you? I guess not overthinking it too much and trying to change too much week to week, but finding what works for you and then just going from there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I just think finding what works for me was sort of the struggle a little bit early on. Still kind of getting into my groove, and then going out there and maybe not having all my pitches working, kind of having to figure it out on the fly. But now that I've kind of settled in a little bit, I really know what my game plan is going into to each week, and know what I have to do in order to be successful.
Thanks.
Okay, next we're going to go to Palmer, and then we're going to go to Mark.
Yeah, Jonathan, just in terms of where the confidence of this team is at after this, the last 4 games, is there a different feeling in the dugout, maybe on Tuesday or, at the tail end of that series?
I mean, I think a little bit, but not too much. I mean, we've really moved on from last week, and we got to enjoy it for an extra day because of the Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. We enjoyed it for 2 days, and then we kind of have to reset. It's a long year, and we still got 6 weeks of SEC play ahead of us and a long way to go. So we kind of have to turn the page quickly and get ready for Kentucky and have that same energy level that we had going into Vanderbilt last Thursday.
Palmer, are you done? I guess you are.
I think
Hey,
so.
Jonathan, what was really working for you against Vanderbilt? Like, what were you hitting on the radar, and what was working with your pitches?
I think the biggest difference for me, it all started with my fastball. My fastball was really good on Saturday, and I was locating it to both sides of the plate. And when you're able to do that, it really just sets up your off speed so much better. So, I mean, I didn't think my breaking pitches were the best they've been all year, but they were good enough to where they worked off my fastball. And so I was speeding their bats up, throwing the fastball a lot, and then able to land a lot of off speed for strikes that had them full. And I got myself into some jams, and the defense played absolutely unbelievable behind me, and then was able to pitch myself out of a couple jams in the second inning and the fifth inning. So, I mean, I think that was the difference for me.
How important is it for you guys, at Foley Field to, I guess you guys have had like 1 out of 3 in terms of these series, losing 2 of them. How important is it to do a better job at home, you think?
I think it's very important. I mean, in the SEC, you play an even number of series at home and on the road. So if you can really win at home and win all your series at home, that takes a lot of pressure off you when you have to go to places like Florida and Arkansas and Vanderbilt, and not have to go in knowing you have to win a series. So, I mean, I just think we got to keep taking care of business at home, and that's something that we haven't been able to do the first couple weeks in the SEC, but that's something we're looking to do this weekend and moving forward.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all, Jonathan.
All right. Thank you.